Hi, Simon, and welcome to the show. You are on my show, Read a Book in 14 Minutes. We have two books of yours over here. You have written Digital Marketing Strategy and the Digital Marketing Handbook. So tell us a little bit about, let's go straight into what are these books about?
So the digital marketing strategy book, that's been out for about 5 years or so now, and that's a book that's used around the world at many universities to teach how to put together a digital marketing strategy. And
You've got an amazing background of leading CitiBank's digital marketing strategy, and you got some amazing results. Tell us about how you evolved that strategy.
sure, absolutely. I mean, it's I've worked in financial services actually a lot of my career, and I'm working with a number of financial services clients with my agency now. It's an area that I'm actually quite passionate about, and Citibank is a fantastic global organization, really interesting place to be. The work I did there was with the private bank side of the business, which is really ultra high net worth market, and really the wealthiest clients with the highest expectations that you could ever meet, which is always a challenge in itself, right? So we started out with the foundations. We had to build a website, right? There wasn't much there in the way of actually an online presence, so we had to build that to start with, and we built a good content-led website. Because again, these guys, what is it they really want? They want help, they want advice, and you can deliver that very nicely through all sorts of ranges of content, from video to guides to short blogs to papers, all sorts, all of which have a digital angle to them. And there's not really much these days that doesn't have a digital angle to it, right? So, so we had to build out a lot of content there. There's a fantastic content team that built and developed within the company as we went through this process. Still there now, doing some great work. So content became a key area of the strategy as we built that out across the website, as we start to review our email communications, and also as we start to look at promoting the business. And we started to delve for the first time in testing a number of different channels. We tested some advertising channels such as paid search, for example, but we also tested social media. Now, this was a controversial area. Social media within financial services is difficult. It's very highly regulated. You have a lot of compliance people within financial institutions who, of course, want to protect the company and the brand, and absolutely the right thing to do. You need to work very closely with them, because within social, you want to be human, you want to be a little bit different, you want to be a little bit disruptive, but that's the exact opposite of what compliance obviously are trying to make sure you are. And getting that blend right is important. So the partnership within any financial services organization between marketing and compliance is such an important relationship. It's vital. So within digital, as you start to push some of these things out, you start to test. You've got to have some good internal conversations and build some good use cases for what you're going to do and how you're going to be sensible about. So yeah, we tested out LinkedIn, a great location for where these guys are going to be, right? The target audience is going to be. And as I say, part of understanding that audience is, where are they? And so we tested out LinkedIn. We tested out, as I say, Google Bank. I heard a lot of people say to me when I was there, no one's Googling a private bank. They know who the private banks are. They'll just call us. They'll just meet with us. Or they'll get an introduction through one of their wealthy friends. Well, actually, those ads performed extremely well. So people are Googling private banks, right? It absolutely is the case. And if you're a young tech entrepreneur, one day you've got £500,000 in the bank. Next day you've sold your business and you've got £500 million in the bank. You're going to want to know who to talk to, right? And yes, you can talk to people, but in your circle, you may not know that many people. You're not an expert in the field. You're probably going to Google, right? It's the place that people go. Test and learn. We had to continuously test what language works, what channel works, what system works. So, for example, with LinkedIn, the lead generation tool is a fantastic way of generating leads. And if you've got some really valuable content that can add value to someone's life and make things easier for them, which is ultimately what we're always trying to do in marketing, make other people's lives easier. The biggest challenge in an organization like this is always cultural change, right? It's bringing the business on the journey with you. And you can't actually fix all of that unless you change the entire culture of the business. You need everyone, every decision maker, everyone at every level from the top to the bottom to be behind what you're trying to do. Otherwise, it just won't happen. So the biggest challenge was culture change. You can do some test and learn. Absolutely. You can show some numbers. Great. And you can talk about theories. Fine. But people aren't necessarily going to buy into that. You establish what your strategy is. Then you need to go and get some numbers behind it. You need to report back. You need to keep that communication, and you need to demonstrate the importance of what's happening through the results, and through continuous improvement and continuous communication. When I started, it was, what's this digital thing? It's not really important. We should probably step into it a little bit. But yeah, so to see that change from, okay, we need to be thinking digitally about what we're doing, to, okay, we should probably do some digital. That was a massive transformation. And that's the thing that I'm happiest with out of everything. There were digital people being recruited left, right, and center. It's a big change, and I don't take all credit for it. There were a lot of other good people doing some good digital work on that time. But the transformation of the business over there, through a lot of the work we did in digital marketing, and through engaging the wider business and all of our stakeholders, continuously getting digital at the front of every project that was happening, that was something that I pushed very hard on, and very happy to say it was a lot of success. So yeah, whistle stop tour, but it was it was a very good project over a good few years, and very transformational.
So how do you define a content strategy? So tell us some secrets about successful SEO.
Yeah, it's a very complex area. Yeah, in my books I talk about the SEO triangle. So there are three real core areas. So there's a lot of different ranking factors, especially within Google, and I'll focus primarily on Google, by the way. Obviously there are many other search engines, but they largely work roughly the same way, and there are, obviously, Google have the vast majority of the share in the majority of the world, so I'll focus on them. There's three sides to it. So there are many ranking factors as to what really works with SEO, what you need to be considering to rank well on SEO. But all of them can be put into this three buckets, hence the triangle. So you've got content. So that can be everything from the content on your site, so the actual text itself. It can be the imagery, it can be how you write headlines, for example. It can also be your social media and how your social media performs. If that performs very well, you have a lot of followings, a lot of engagement, that can reflect through social signals to the search engines as well. So there's a lot around content that, as we go back to that point we were talking about earlier around content and planning and reactive and getting good engagement, that all feeds into SEO as well. Having a broad set of content on your site that talks about those key points, that answers those questions, and having FAQs and things on your site is great as well. So as much as you can produce stories, keep them quite long as well, not too short and snappy. A little bit of short content's great, but also you want lengthy answers, so you're providing some real authority on your site. Another corner is technical SEO. So really important. That's the part where you need a real technical specialist involved, so someone who really understands SEO, not just development of a website. They are slightly different things, and not every web developer will understand SEO. So if you are going through building a website, get an SEO person involved from day one. Don't build the website and then try and perform the SEO on it later, because you might have to undo a lot of things that have been developed. So really important that whoever you build a website with understands SEO inside out. But there's a lot to include there. So you have your core web vitals, which are signals around how your website performs. Is it well structured? Is it fast to perform? Is it stable? And within that, we have tagging as well. So we talked a little bit about content there and FAQs. Within the technical elements, we've got tagging things on your site, so as they show up on Google search as answers to questions, for example, you would have seen that answer box on Google. And so as if you've got products, they feature within Google's results as well. That gives you an opportunity to not just rank your page, but actually return your results right at the top above any of the websites. So if you're smart, you can manipulate's a bad word, but you can control the SERPs, the search engine results pages. You can control them by having real estate on different parts of that page, not by just trying to desperately rank one page, right? So there's a much smarter way of controlling SEO. So technical is really important. So a very, very deep area. We haven't got time to go through in detail now, but I could spend literally a week talking about technical SEO. And then the third corner of the triangle is links. Now it's a difficult area. You shouldn't be going out there actively trying to buy or establish your links for the sake of it. Google doesn't like that. If you're trying to, I will use this word properly, manipulate the search engines by just going and buying lots of links into your site, saying, "Hey, look, we're really popular because I've just spent £1 million buying links into my site." That's not really authentic. That's not people linking to you because you've got a valuable site. It's them linking to you in exchange for money. So you're trying to trick Google, and Google does not respond very well to that. So a lot of links is not the goal, because if they're low quality, that's worse than having no links, actually. So a gradual increase over time of high quality links linking into your content because they've chosen to is what you want. And to achieve that, you need to write really compelling content that people want to link to. We talked earlier about mortgage calculators and things like that. Those sort of tools are great. They're link based. Ultimately, they attract links because people want that for their users on their site. You need to be producing really good stories, really good PR. So we come back to content that goes out into other sites. People link back into you. So it's all an ecosystem, as with everything else. But those are your three corners. Now, I would just caveat at the end and just say that you should never be focused on how do I get this page to #1 on Google. That shouldn't be your goal, right? That's always the goal. That's always where I've started with every conversation I've had with everyone with regards to SEO. Get me to #1 on this, right? That's not really the goal, right? What is the goal? Let's just take a step back, because that's far too in the detail. You wouldn't say that on anything else. You wouldn't say in paid search, I always want to spend the most on this keyword, right? You wouldn't do it. So we shouldn't do it on SEO either. What we should do is, what is our goal? Our goal is to acquire leads as cost effectively as possible. Let's pick that as one of many, many goals out there. If that's our goal, then let's make sure we are delivering as much organic traffic of the right people through to our site as we can. How we achieve that is a number of different ways. And we've just talked about the real estate on the search engine results pages. We could rank 5th on 1,000 terms rather than first on 1 term. That may well produce a lot more traffic for us. We should be going after those niche keywords. We should be trying to drive traffic through these tools that we just talked about, these link-based tools as well. We build our brand through creating a lot of great content on our site. Those people will talk about us. That will engage more on social media. That will get more traffic through to our site. So all of this stuff we do within SEO. Yes, of course, there's a lot of technical work. There's some great tools out there that you can use, like SEMrush and Ahrefs and Screaming Frog, and there's some brilliant SEO tools out there that will help you a lot on improving your website, which are really, really important. But other than making sure your site is technically good, the rest of it is about the broader strategy and making sure we are delivering the right traffic as cost effectively as possible through to our site. Not, are we #1 on that one keyword? It's a vanity metric. Yeah, of course it's nice to be in. Yeah, let's try and do it, right? But it's not the success metric of the SEO strategy, and it shouldn't be focused too much on that. So that's always my view. So again, very, very, very quick tip into SEO.
Yeah, I mean, thank you, Simon. I was trying to scratch the surface of your book, but I don't think I was even able to scratch the surface, because I think it goes so deep. So we literally managed to give a teaspoon of a taster, not even more than that. But absolutely amazing talking to you, and many of your points as also a person in digital marketing are so spot on. I would like to read the book as well, and I'd go out and not go out and buy the book. I read most of my books on Kindle, so hopefully it's on Kindle as well.
It is on Kindle. Yep.
Great. So to everybody out there, go buy both the books of Simon, because if what he has talked about is so good, and he really knows his you really know your work. So it's amazing what the book would contain. So thank you so much, Simon, and thank you for coming on Read a Book in 14 Minutes.
Thank you. Really enjoyed it. Thanks for having me, Gandhi.
There reminds me of you.